What's your name?
Jacob Gardner.
Do you fall within the age bracket of 16 to 22?
Yeah.
And what sports are you interested in?
Just boxing and MMA. But yeah, I used to play football when I was younger.
Does a documentary on technology and sport interest you?
Yeah, I think it's becoming more a part in sport just because people are, obviously the old-fashioned way isn't as accurate and people want it to be as accurate as possible, so they're trying to use technology, but it's a negative effect, so it would interest me.
And what would you like to see in this documentary?
We would go back to when it wasn't used and just look at how the sport was back then, and you can see the differences as to when it was introduced, how that's changed the sport, maybe for worse.
What views would you like to see presented in this documentary? Would you like to see it from an official's point of view, a spectator, or a player themselves?
I think you could go into each one and just maybe show from each perspective. Because if you just show one and might be being a bit biased, you might not get the whole view of it. So if you do each view, you'll get like a well-rounded view of it because everyone's going to see it differently.
Overall, do you think that technology helps or hinders sport?
I think it helps make it more accurate, but I think the way of doing it is the old-fashioned way. You know, like not everything needs to be completely accurate. That's part of the sport.
And what's your view on VAR in football?
I think it's a good thing, but when it's used rightly, and it's not. I think you could probably overuse it and say, because there's so many decisions which you could use it for, but I think maybe just the main decisions should be used. It should be used for, not like just enough time that's not going to change a game.
What's your name?
Ben Varley.
Do you fall within the age bracket of 16 to 22?
I do.
What sports are you interested in then?
Bit of football, bit of hockey.
What would you like to see in this documentary?
How technology has changed sport from like early on to like now.
What views would you like to see in this documentary?
What do you mean by views?
So would you like to see it from an official's point of view, a spectator point of view, or a sports person?
I think a mix of both from like all the different perspectives, because it will show how they're all different, from a player thinking something and a ref and a spectator all having different opinions.
Do you think that technology helps or hinders sport?
Helps, definitely.
Why?
Because like in tennis, Hawkeye and cricket, they've got the thing to check the line of the ball in the stumps, and VAR now, I think it's all changing it positively, so it's more accurate.
And what is your viewpoint on VAR?
I'm for it. Although like it sort of ruins the whole idea of it could have or could have not been a penalty. I think it just gives a different like talking point for football.
What's your name?
My name is Bartek.
Do you fall within the age bracket of 16 to 22?
Yes, I do.
What sports are you interested in, Bartek?
Football.
Does a documentary on technology and sport interest you?
Yes, because it's quite a controversial topic at the moment.
What would you like to see in this documentary?
How it affects the players, because sometimes the players change how they play because of the technology.
And what views would you like to see presented in this documentary?
The team behind VAR and all the technologies, like what they do, and like how they watch the game from their like perspective.
Do you think that technology overall helps or hinders sport?
Overall, I think it helps, but there is situations where it doesn't, and it like ruins it a bit.
What's your view on VAR?
I think VAR should be kept in football because there have been some close calls, and sometimes VAR makes the right decision.
Right. What's your name?
Luke Berkey.
Do you fall within the age bracket of 16 to 22?
Yes.
What sports are you interested in?
Since a young age I've played rugby. Started off at the age of 9. Karate, been doing it since I was 5. Basketball, loved it ever since I was 10.
Does a documentary on technology and sport interest you?
Yeah, it would. I do love watching sport, and if there's a documentary on TV, on YouTube, I always give it a watch. I do love a sport documentary. And recently, with the introduction of VAR, I reckon that a documentary on technology, I'd love to see the views of what people think of VAR and other sports like tennis, cricket, because they all use the technology.
And what would you like to see in this documentary more specifically?
I would love to see like the variety of opinions that people have from professionals, like people actually who are playing the games, how they feel, and just your average people that watch it on a day-to-day, weekly basis.
What views would you like to see pushed in this documentary?
What do you mean by views?
So, from an official's point of view, would you like to see spectators, the players themselves?
Yeah, I think an official's point of view would be great, yeah. That'd be really interesting to interpret what's going through their mind whilst the process of technology is trying to find the right answer.
So, overall, do you think that technology helps or hinders sport?
Good question. Well, at this moment, there's a lot of different opinions and views on it. So I reckon if you could include a variety of some opinions, people who love it and some who hate it, I reckon it could be a great way to show to the people that we need it.
And what's your view on VAR in football?
Well, VAR, where do we start? Already this season we've had, 4 mistakes? And they say it's going to fix all problems in football. The pundits aren't liking it, some are. But from my point of view, I feel like it definitely does decrease the amount of mistakes that are being made by referees and officials. So therefore I think it's a great move by FIFA to bring it into the Premier League.
Thank you.